Welcome back to your crafty place. It's Beth. I'm here to show you another easy card with very minimal supplies. You will need some kind of trimmer to be able to cut the paper pieces. You'll need paper, glue, a stamp set or some kind of embellishment, a card base. If you're using a photopolymer or clear stamp, you'll need some kind of block. You'll need ink. I think that's about it. In this video, we are going to make the paper play sketches. Again, this is one that I found off of Pinterest. There's the information there at the top, but we're going to be doing this one here. It does not come with measurements, so I have measurements for you. The only one that is going to have a layering piece is going to be the first piece. So that will be the one that is about 4 3/8, I think, by 4 1/8 black piece, and then we're going to glue everything down onto that, but none of the other ones will have pieces. So you'll need the black piece of paper for the background, which I have here. You'll need the card base, which is here, which we'll fold in a minute. And then this is the card, similar to the card that we will be making today. We're going to use the same papers, but in a different way. I think I have enough to make this card. We may have to pull another piece out, but I think out of the scraps from this card we'll have enough to make another card. So the stamp set that we are using is the Hero Arts, let's see, 4x6 clear stamp set, and it is the Friendly Messages. And I don't know which stamp we'll use out of it, but this is the one that we are using today. I'm going to use my Versa Fine Clair Nocturne just because this stamp pad still has some ink to it. My other ones are a little dry and I need to get some reinkers. I have a little bit bigger block this time. This one was one that came in a set, so if you're wanting a set, sometimes if you have really small blocks, a smaller block, or really small stamp, a smaller block is better. And larger stamps, obviously, you need a bit larger block. So I've got that one. And then the paper pad we're using is an older paper pad from DCWV. It's glittered, all dressed up matte stack. It's a premium stack. I don't have the date from this one, but it is an older paper pad. There's no date on this one. If there was, it was ripped off a long time ago, but this is the information about it. And so we are going to start off. I have this one cut already. This is the piece that we're going to glue everything down on. This allows me to have that little bit of a white border around my card base. So it is 4 1/8 by about 5 3/8. It's a little bit shy of that, but somewhere around there will be close. And then I'm going to see if we have enough extras from the paper that we already cut to do this without taking any more paper out of here. So let's just see. I didn't do a very good job when I ripped that one out, but we're going to see if we can get a 5 1/4 inch piece by 4. So we're going to I'm going to cut this one a little in because I've got a little rough spot right there. So I'm going to cut this one to 4. I'm going to turn around and then cut that to 4. Make sure it's straight there. I feel like I don't have it straight. I'm going to turn it this way and see what we got. That's a little straight. I think my bottom is straight. I think maybe that's the problem. So now I'm going to do 5 1/4. So now this piece will layer onto here like that. You can save these pieces if you want. I probably won't just because of the rip, but if they were good pieces, you could save those. So then we are going to do the next largest, which is, I have it at 2 1/2, which I don't know that any of these are going to be big enough. This one might be 2 1/2 by 4. So let's see what we've got here. Yep, there's 2 1/2 by 4. So that's going to be the top piece that will go on here like this. We then need a piece to go across the center that is 4. This one is by 1, so I'm going to turn this one and cut it to 1. This piece is big enough we could put it on the inside of our card if we wanted to. But this one will go underneath here, like that. And then I need 2 pieces. So I'm going to do the first piece I'm going to do out of this one. It needs to be 2.5 by 1.5. That one will go up here like this. And then I need one more piece that is 2.5 by 2.5. And we may have to fudge that one just a little bit. So we're going to do 2.5 for sure. And then we are going to, because we have this piece, we are just going to use this piece, and it's by 2. So we're going to make this piece work. So that's a 2.5 by 2. So to see this card, it will be, this piece will lay here. The background is very busy compared to the other one. This piece will lay here. This will go across those 2 pieces, and then this one goes across all 3 of the pieces, kind of like that. So it's not exactly the same because, you know, each time we place these cards down, they're going to be a little bit different, but it is similar. So I'm going to go ahead and layer this piece down first. I've got my glue, but I'm going to lay this onto here. Now this does have glitter, so it may be a little harder for the glue to adhere once I start layering the pieces on. And the glitter piece is really the only piece that's raised in here. I don't know if you can see that on here or not. The black paper, the blue, the greens, those are all down on the paper, but the glitter has got like a coating over it, so it raises it a little bit. Okay, so now we are going to take this piece, and I just try to have a couple of fingers on this side of it, and then I get the tip to kind of touch towards the top there, and then just slant it down. You can slant it down as little or as much as you'd like. I'm going to do similar with this one, only this one is going to tilt the other way. So this time I want about 1 finger over here. Still that tip is going to touch towards the bottom. This tip goes to the side but doesn't touch. It kind of looks like it does on the other one, but it only looks that way because of the way the paper is, because the paper has the sides on either side. And now we are going to put this piece right across the center just like that. This is cardstock, unlike the other ones that we've done where it's been paper. This is a heavier cardstock, so there's not really that need for that extra layering piece. I like the extra layering piece, the black, because that separates. If I were to have any bit of white on my card, that would pull it away from my card base. So that's another reason why I like to do the background. Now we could add this little piece that we trimmed off on here if we wanted to add a little more detail to our front piece, if we thought this one was a little plain compared to the other ones. But I think if I put my sentiment on there, I think we'll be okay. But you could also add an embellishment if you had some ephemera or some pearls or some more of your diamond dots if you're using diamond dots on your cards. So this one is about the same amount of space as it is from at the top as it is at the bottom, and then it's over just a little bit on your right hand side. There's more space on the left hand side, but it's up to you how much space on either side. I'm going to sort of use my silver here to try and line it up a little bit because there's a lot going on, so it's a little hard to see. And again, with that glitter, you will have to push down. Now on this card, I did not add any pieces behind any of these cards, so you can sort of see that it doesn't attach completely right here because there's a bit of a bump because of that piece of paper there. On this one, I did put paper down, so the bump here, it's still there, but you can't really notice it, I don't think, as much, and you definitely can't feel it. If you rub your hands across it, you can kind of feel this one. You really can't feel, you can feel the silver, because the silver is a different spot, but they're different height, but you can't really feel it on this card. So there is that. I'm going to stamp my sentiment next so that it has a little bit of time to dry before we do our card base. I also, when I take these off, so you'll see me just kind of drop them down onto wherever I'm doing it. I'm not trying to take it to here and lay it out. If I do that, sometimes your stamp gets crooked on you because it's not going the way that it naturally wants to go, because you're taking it and you're saying, okay, lay here and then lay here, or lay here and then I'm gonna, you know, lay you here, and you may stretch it a little bit when you do that. So if you just lay it on your surface, just drop it on the surface and let it do its thing, then take the block to it so that you get more of a straight with the block, then you have a better chance of it actually being straight on the block without any stretching or warping of the sentiment. I think that's about the same size either way, so we'll go this way. I'm going to get my ink pad out here. I'm going to take it to the stamp. Just make sure I have it nice and covered. Put my lid back on my stamp pad there, and then I'm going to try to make this as straight as I can. I can always fix it on my trimmer if I need to, and then I just leave it sit there a little bit. I'm going to push a little bit, and then I'm going to pull up. And see, that's a much better stamp than I got the last couple of times because it's just a juicier ink pad. I'm going to go ahead and clean this off. I'm going to use our card base that we have here, and we haven't gotten any extra tools. We're still using the things that we have. We don't have anything else. We've bought the foam squares, we've got the glue, we've got the paper trimmer, so we're just going to fold our card base in half here, and we're going to make sure I don't have any ink on my finger this time. Push it from the bottom up and then top to bottom. I'm doing a side fold card again, so that's why mine's top to bottom on the side there instead of left to right. You do the type of card base that you like. I like these because I think they sit up better. The ones I did some on that required a die that stand like this, and on this where it's kind of grippy, they stand okay, but sometimes they have a tendency to, you know, go out on you and then your card goes flat if you're trying to display it. These, even if they open up a little bit, they don't fall over. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. So I prefer a side or a book kind of opening on my card. But that is a personal preference, so if you like top folding, then by all means do it top folding, and if you prefer 5x7, you can go that route. I do the A2, which is the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because you can get 2 cards out of an 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of paper, and in America, or the US, that's how most of our paper is 8 1/2 by 11. You can get 12 by 12 paper, you can get 8 1/2 by 14, you can get 11 by 17, you can get other size papers, but the majority come in the 8 1/2 by 11. So the A2 card allows you to get 2 cards with the card base. You can have 4 layering pieces if you cut one piece in half. So that is why I do it that way. Okay, so I hope this is dry, and I'm also going to use a small scrap of black ink that might get us there. I think I need to take a little bit off the bottom. This for me is just kind of a trial and error because the letters, you know, I like going to the last letter, but sometimes going to the last letter makes it still look off because you only have the one letter that goes down that far. Everything else is up higher, so do it the best, the way you like it. I sometimes like to just trim around the whole word and then layer it on another piece and then trim around it again, because to me that makes it look more even, but you do however you would like to. I am now going to glue this onto my black, and then I will trim it. So I'm making sure to get all the corners. Going to line up two sides, the left and the bottom, to get about the space around it that I want. I'm going to push down, not rub, because if that ink is still wet at all, it will smear on me. I don't think I line that up perfectly, but I think I'll be okay. I won't complain about it. Is that? And then you just need to decide where you want to stick it down on here. So I'm just going to stick it similar to where the other one is, not quite the exact same spot. And I could put paper on the side over here to make sure that since it's going off the cardstock that there won't be a lump, but I'm okay with it this way. There's that, and then I'm going to, let's see what we got here. We've got this piece here that I could put on the inside. I think I'm going to put that right down there at the bottom. I did not put anything on the other card. I could, because I have some extra pieces here. So we will see. But there is that one. So that's the card we made today. And then that's the card that I made originally using the same papers, just original cuts came from this one, and this one was the secondary cuts. And then what we have left from those two pieces of paper are these pieces here. And then those couple that I threw away because they were ripped on the side. But that's all the paper that we have. You could still make another card with this if you wanted to, making some kind of quilt type card. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.